Okay, are we live? We're live. You got us? Are we up? Ready?
Yeah.
We're up, Justice?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Hey, so if you guys are joining us right now, we are taking and we are doing an Endgame presentation. This is one of 4 webinars. If you want to experience this the best place to go is go to asksolarmike.org. You'll see that if you're on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I put a link there so you can see. You can go to asksolarmike.org, and in the upper right-hand corner of the website, you're going to see it says live webinar. Click on that, and that will actually bring you into the Zoom meeting. That way you can participate with this live. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a set of slideshows and presentations and be able to take and show it to you. So just go to asksolarmike.org and then go up into the upper right-hand corner and then take and click on live webinar, and that will actually bring you into the Zoom meeting. Now, there's actually limited seating in here, and so like I would take and jump on it real quick to make sure that you get your seating, because like when I set up the Zoom, apparently I've just got limited seating. I wish it was unlimited, but it's not. Anyway, asksolarmike.org in the upper right-hand corner. So anyway, super excited to be with you guys today. The whole point of this presentation, the reason I'm taking it and doing it, you guys remember watching the Avengers Affinity Wars. In the Avengers Affinity Wars, you got Thanos that's on this ridiculous mission, right? And what he wants to do, he feels like the world's overpopulated. And so he's going to take and figure out how to take and to reduce the population. And he's after all those Affinity Stones. And so he goes on this huge journey to get all these Affinity Stones, and then he takes and he fits them all into his glove. And you remember the scene where he's putting his hands up inside this glove, and then he does what he does, the Thanos snap, boom, just like that. And as soon as he snaps his fingers, like, boom, all of a sudden, half of the world's population just literally just disappeared overnight. And I feel like this coronavirus is like the Thanos snap, where it came in and he just all of a sudden the virus stepped into a place and it went snap, and all of a sudden, like, all the streets are empty. All of a sudden there's nobody out on the streets. You go into the grocery grocery store shelves are all empty. And I'm like, what the? And so when you see the Endgame, the Avengers Endgame, the Endgame was all about taking and bringing back, just trying to normalize things, try to bring people back, just trying to kind of like recalibrate the human race. And so this Endgame presentation I'm going to share with you, it's one of 4 webinars, and that's the Endgame. This presentation, so the name of this presentation is how to make 6 figures and provide for your family during the coronavirus lockdown without going outside or spending money. Like, that's exactly what this is going to take and do. And so just kind of as a result of that, like, I wanted to show you this. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, like, seriously, when you go to the grocery stores, you'll walk up and down the grocery stores and you'll just see everything's just different. Like, grocery stores are empty. And then if you need toilet paper, you're going to slide over here and you're going to see the toilet paper shelf. It's totally empty. But my neighbor, he was pretty creative, and he found a way to solve his particular problem. And he's happy to report that he's got his own rolls starting to sprout up. But in all seriousness, I've got to be able to take and do a disclaimer about what this webinar is and what this webinar is not. This webinar is not going to show you how to become rich in one day. Okay. At first, when I started out, the big mission that I had is, I said, I want to figure out how to make 6 figures. Okay. And what I wanted to do is make 6 figures and have the good life. But I noticed if I was sitting there working hourly, the big thing that happened is it capped my income. And the only way for me to take and to break through to that other side was to actually work more hours, but then I really didn't have any job security. And I think kind of what we've noticed in this environment is, like, you've probably you may be feeling this right now, or at least you know people that have run into it. With this coronavirus, kind of like the Thanos snap, all of a sudden a bunch of people have been trying to figure out, like, where they're going to, like, work, how they're going to take and provide for their family. And so what I did is I really started digging into this, and I've got secrets. I've got some things that I can show you that'll be very powerful for you to be able to help deal and cope with this particular environment. And so as I started digging into this, here's a solution. Or there's a gentleman by the name of Spencer Meekum. Okay, He lives out in, I had a brain fart, out there by Utah Lake. Okay. Saratoga Springs, correct. Thank you. So he lives out there in Saratoga Springs. This is a gentleman who does not actually have a job. He does not actually have a product or his own business. But as you can see, he's made over $1 million. This guy makes significant amount of money without having a job, an income, or a business, or well, not an income, but a job, a business, or a product. Okay. Here's another guy. His name's Stephen Larson. This is another guy. He graduated from college. He couldn't figure out how to make ends meet. He was working at it, and then he finally discovered a strategy where he could position himself correctly in the marketplace where he could actually make significant money. This guy makes over $1 million a year, and he started off and he didn't have a product up front. It doesn't require a job. It doesn't require that he owns a business, okay? And so you might be wondering, well, who is this exactly is this presentation for? You're wondering if this fits for you, okay? This presentation is for, so if you're a man or a woman, this presentation is for you. If you're single or if you're married, if you spend money or have bills, or if you've been impacted by the virus, more or less, if you're listening to this presentation and watching it, and you have air in your lungs, this presentation is exactly for you, okay? So first thing off, to be able to take and to do this, I've got to sit down and start breaking some myths. There's a lot of things that we've learned over the years that are, in fact, actually not true, okay? The first myth we're going to break down is people think to make money, you actually need a job, okay? Totally not true. In fact, I'll even show you the evidence. Next thing people usually think is that you actually have to own a business to be able to make money. Absolutely not true. Third thing is people seem to think you need some sort of operations facility, production, whatnot, that you need to own that or something. Like, totally not true. And third, they think that they have to actually go out and create a product so that they have something to sell. Totally not true. I'll show you this. The goal of these webinars is to be able to help you show you how, if you don't have a product, if you're in a position right now where trying to get out and work is not really that possible, I'm going to show you how you can take money and you don't need all those different things I was talking about, okay? So the goal of these webinars, there's a series of 4 of them. So goal number 1 is I'm going to show you proven strategies that thousands of people have used to make money online, okay? And then the goal number 2 is I'm going to show you how you can do it at home without spending money or hours on the telephone making sales, because I already know that you don't want to take and to do those things. And so I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, like, Mike, like, why should I listen to you? Why should I listen to you? Well, because I've been there. Okay, I've been there. I've been at this point, and I've gone in and I've been able to solve this problem, and I can take and show you how to get out of this predicament you're in. Okay. When my major goal was to figure out how I could take, when I took and I moved from Arizona to Utah, I was in this defense contracting space, building missiles and stuff. And when I moved here, in my location, this area where I'm at, we did not have like defense contractors I could work for. And so it literally put me into a position where I really had to go out and retool and reposition myself to try to figure out how to try to provide for my family. And what I discovered is I was able to generate $1.5 million for my partners, and I was able to make 6-figure income for myself. And in this presentation, I'm going to break it down, and I will show you piece by piece how I take and I did that. Okay. So to make it simple, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to literally just break it down into 3 secrets. So it's kind of easy to digest and memorable. So secret number 1, this is how to be the middleman and get paid without spending time or money building the actual business. Okay, what do I mean by that? The very first time I discovered this concept, it's when I first moved to Utah, and I came in contact with the flooring business. Okay, when I came in contact with the flooring business, here's what was on my mind. I want to figure out how to make 6 figures, and I want to enjoy the good life. And as I mentioned, when I moved back to Utah, I mean, I'd been out of Utah for 12 years. And when I moved back to Utah, like right where I'm at, there was no defense contractors. There's nobody building the weapons and stuff that I was working on. And so when I was in this area, I had to figure out a new way to take and to provide for my family. And so my training was on how to do missiles. And the big conversation we talked about is lethality. It was very different than most businesses and jobs that I'd ever worked at before. But the problem really is I wasn't willing to drive all the way up to Salt Lake. to the job to provide for my family. So here's what I had to do. My friend, he really wanted to grow his flooring business. But the thing is I knew nothing about selling flooring. I just like I did it. I walk on floors. Everybody walks on floors, but I didn't know anything about it. And so the big question in my mind is where secret number two pops in. Question is how can I get a commission? What I'm going to show you is how to get a commission without actually selling a product, which is exactly where I found myself. And so, like, if you go around, you can see that there's stores. There's like Ogden's Flooring, Giant Carpet. There's all these different flooring places, and they have these really nice showrooms in there. And they've got these guys in there that are already trained and experts, and they know exactly how to sell flooring. These guys are masters of it. And so, the piece I started bringing together and said is like, what if I can take and get pull, or those guys could actually cause the sale to take place. And then when they say, okay, I've got this job, I could take and give it to my friend, and my friend could actually install it. And that's exactly what happened. The flooring companies would actually take and to do the sales, and then it would hand it directly over to my friend. He would take and do the installations, and I would literally get paid for being the middleman. And so secret was flooring companies got the sales. My friend had his employees to take and to do the work, and I got to enjoy the good life. And I actually was making good money when I was there in Hawaii. That was one of the major secrets I actually ended up discovering. And so I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Mike, the economy is starting to tank. Like, things are getting really rough out here, right? You might be thinking people are getting laid off left and right? Okay, that's exactly why you need this. That's exactly what I'm putting together. This webinar and presentation is exactly to help you. Okay. That's going to take and bring us into secret number 3. This is how you can make more money in a down economy without the risk of owning the business. Like, you're going to be kind of like, what? Yeah, the truth is that it depends on where you're at in the economy. Like, if you look at it right now, people are spending more money right now, even though you think the economy's down. People, what they're doing is they're spending their money different. They're not going on a cruise right now. But if you go to the grocery store and you look at the shelves, they're all empty, right? People are spending money on this stuff. There's a product right here. You can see it. It's called Zoom. Zoom is a software. That's the exact product we're using right now. Zoom, as soon as this coronavirus stepped into the place, the environment changed. All of a sudden, Zoom's sales they just literally exploded. This company is making money hand over fist more than they've ever made before. And they're crushing it. Have you gone to the store recently and tried to find hand sanitizer? Now, I know you've probably gone to the store and tried to find it, right? You can't find it. Like, let me ask you a question. Do you think that means that they're not actually producing the product? Or do you think that means that they're selling it out faster than they can actually manufacture it, right? Perel is absolutely crushing it in this current market. Now, if the economy actually takes and it does tip down, let's just say you actually end up with some problems with your car and stuff. Are you going to go out and buy a new car, or are you likely to go out and just buy the parts and to take and to repair your vehicle? My guess is you're probably not going to buy the car, but you're going to actually go to AutoZone and buy parts to repair your vehicle. In a down economy, AutoZone will absolutely crush it. They crushed it last time. They'll crush it again if this economy takes a tip down. Another product that absolutely makes a ton of money during this time frame is as soon as people start losing jobs, they will start going back to school trying to figure out how to get educated and tooled up to be able to do a different job. You will discover that schools and online schooling will absolutely crush it in this market. So it's not that people are not spending money. They're spending money. It's how are you positioned so that you're in front of those opportunities to take and to receive that money. Okay, we're going to pause right here for just a second. So if you're watching on either Facebook or Instagram Live, take and go to asksolarmike.org. You'll see I even put a link right there inside the video. It's probably at the top. But you can simply just go to asksolarmike.org. And as soon as you get to the webpage, you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, I put a link that says live webinar. Take and go click on that live webinar. You're going to have a much better experience if you go there. The reason being is because I'm taking and I'm shooting this live, but I've got slides and presentations that I'm actually showing. and you're actually going to end up missing that. And so just go to asksolarmike.org. In the upper right-hand corner, just click on that link, and it will actually bring you right into this meeting room so that you can just kind of pick up where we left off. So anyway, if you're on Facebook and Instagram, we're going to take and close that down now. Just go to asksolarmike.org in the upper right-hand corner. Just click on that link, and that will bring you back into this presentation. All right, can you guys just close that down real quick? Okay. All right. Now we're gonna continue. Okay. This is where you would take and find it. AskSolarMike. Well, you guys have already got it at this point. Okay. So to take and to do this, so it's how you've positioned yourself into the marketplace that makes a big difference. Like you've got to be in front of an opportunity where people are buying those products. Certain products are not going to sell very well at all right now. Okay. This took actually for me to be able to discover this and to completely digest what I'm showing with you. This actually took me 2 years to discover it. Okay. I actually ended up having to discover it the hard way. And you don't have to do that. Here's probably the reason that you and a lot of other folks have been struggling right now is because like our entire lives, we've been told, go to school, get an education. And then we said, go get a job, right? And if you go to school and then get a job, everything's going to work out. And then all of a sudden you discover the coronavirus snap happens and all of a sudden you're looking for work. So this is the hard way. This is how we've always done it in the past. Go to school, get a job, or you can go create a product, build a business. But what happens is like your upfront cost, when I go through this process, it cost me I wrote down it probably cost me $100,000. And by the time I graduated from college, I actually had student loans. And it took me 16 years finally to get through the entire process. And I don't want you to go through that. What I'm going to do is I'm showing you how you can make 6 figures as the middleman. And I'm doing this live and it's going to take about an hour and a half to go through all this training. And then I'm going to splitting it up across 4 webinars. So this is the first of the 4. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick recap on these marketing secrets. I want to, if you grab your pen and paper, I know you're probably taking notes, take and get it out and just take and write these things down because I know that you're going to want it. In fact, maybe get your camera out and take a picture of this so I don't want you to lose it. Secret number 1 is getting paid as the middleman. You do not have to own the product. You do not have to own the business. You don't even have to make the sales. You've got to find a way to position yourself as the middleman. What I mean like that is like my wife, she will be really excited about going to Zupa's and she will do an excellent job. That pen's making noise. She'll go to her girlfriend's like, hey, I just went to Cafe Zupa's. I found this dessert or this thing that was really, really good. And I'm super excited about it. And she'll tell her friend about it. And her friend will go, oh, that's awesome. So what do you think her friend does, right? Her friend's going to shoot down to Cafe Zupa's. She's going to go buy the thing. And then my question is did she get paid for actually making that referral in that situation? Like she didn't, right? What I'm saying is if you got to find a way to position yourself so that like you get paid, like they make the sale, this person does the fulfillment, you get paid in the middle. Okay. Secret number 2 is you got to find a way to get a commission without selling. This meaning somebody else, like in my flooring experience, like somebody else actually sold the customer the flooring. But what I did is I positioned myself as secret number 1 as the middleman, and I actually literally got a commission without that commission escaping. I mean, you could probably think of 10,000 examples of when you mentioned something or recommended something and somebody did a thing. Like I did it the other day. I needed somebody to come to my house to fix my garage door. So I put a post on Facebook and said, hey, can you recommend somebody to fix my garage door? And of course, I got a recommendation. They came and fixed the garage door. But the person who suggested that actually didn't get paid a dime. And that's what I'm saying. We got to position ourselves so that we actually get paid for making that recommendation. And secret number 3 is you can literally make more money in a down economy if you position yourself correctly to get in front of those opportunities. Okay. This upcoming webinar that we're going to do, this next one, it's going to be, I'm going to show you how you take and you put making money, you put it on autopilot so that you can make money 24/7. What this really is this is what Warren Buffett calls, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Now, of course, we don't want that. And so this next webinar time is going to be, it's going to be this upcoming Tuesday at 6 p.m. You can see I've got the webinar link right here. Just take and bookmark this page, bookmark it, go to that website. Feel free to enter your name in and stuff. I'll send you an email out in case you're not on my email list, whatnot. But I can take and send you an email out, and I can send you all the links. But what I'm going to do is I'm taking, and I'm going to show you this thing piece by piece by piece by piece and breaking it down. So the three main things that I wanted to pull to help you see just right here, right now, is those three secrets. Oh, snap. Well, it looks like you're going to see them all again. So secret one, position yourself as a middleman. Two, you got to get a commission without actually making the sell. And then you've got to position yourself in the economy in front of something that actually will sell in this particular environment. And if you take and you do that, then you've got this whole thing figured out. So take and book this webinar right here, AskSolarMike.org, Endgame Video 2.